Bonjour everyone, Pantouf here today for a new video, Juicy Leaks today at the menu boys, because we will talk about two big things that are occurring during the 7.5 update. The first one being, and you're gonna see it right freaking now, a new map created especially for the gravity mode named Everfrost. And after, we're going to talk about some new premium tanks we were not aware of that are coming straight into the 7.5 update. So let's not lose too much time and jump directly into it. You are about to watch the trailer of the new Everfrost map that will get into the game for the 7.5 update for the gravity mode to be implemented again. So here we go. As you can see, the map is pretty much a combination of Christmas, you're going to see, because there are candy cans hidden a little bit everywhere, but also with a big frosty map. That's cool. It reminds us a little bit Christmas and the freezing times. But what I love the most about this map is probably this spot here. Look at this. Wargaming advertised the fact that there are jumps or spot jumps, and it's going to be hilarious to try some trick shots like Call of Duty things from those kind of position. So I'm really excited to test that map out. One thing to notice, this map will be available only for gravity mode, definitely not in regular, because just imagine having those kind of jumping spot pretty much everywhere. It would be a nightmare, and literally all the noobs in your team will try to jump instead of fighting tanks. Concerning the second big news, we will have the pleasure, or I will have the pleasure, to introduce you to the two new tanks that will come to the family of premiums we already had in World of Tanks PC and that we are getting in World of Tanks Blitz, aka the STG and the M41D. Don't worry, we are going to talk about both of those tanks after, but first let's take a look at the trailer so you see what those tanks are looking like. So those are the two tanks. As you can see, we have a Russian one, by the way. The Russian one is the one with the turret mounted at the rear. That's called the STG, which is basically a medium tank that is featuring a 122mm gun, so a 400 alpha damage. And the second one is the M41D, a premium tank, and it's a light one, which is a premiere for Chinese light tank, because we don't have yet any light tanks in the game, especially Chinese, and especially at tier 7. So seems like a copy-paste of the Bulldog, at least on the look, and we're gonna see after if that's the case or not. And as you can see, both of them are coming with their legendary camouflage, and what I love especially about the camouflage on the M41D, so the one on the right, is that the camo is historical, and you know my love for historical camos. Now that we took a look, sorry, on those tanks as just aesthetic thing, let's jump directly into the statistics so you understand if those tanks are made for you or not. So, concerning the first tank we need to talk about, I don't want to talk about the M41D because the STG, we already previewed the tank on the channel, so it's the least important one. Let's talk about this tank. It's gonna come out as a Chinese tank in the game, but don't be fooled by politics, guys. This tank is actually Taiwanese. So it's gonna be the first tier 8 Taiwanese light premium tank that is probably gonna be under the banner of Chinese tanks in the 7.5 update for Wargaming to still make money in China. Now, for the gun, that's where things are getting either interesting for you or boring. If we had to compare it, we would do it with the Black Dog, which is the tier 8 already existing tank that everybody or nearly everybody got from the streams of the Twister Cup. Why is the Bulldog, in my opinion, a better tank? Simply because with this one, it's a combination between the M41 Bulldog we have at tier 7 and the Twister Bulldog we have at tier 8. Because this tank features the tier 7 gun with, of course, some improvements mounted on the hull and with the mobility, or at least nearly the mobility, of the tier 8 Black Dog. Let me explain myself. With this tank, it's 160 alpha damage with a great gun handling. You should get around 3.6 seconds of reload, which will give it a total of 2.5k DPM for 9 degrees of gun depression. Overall, the statistics of the gun sounds juicy. The main problem I have with it is that with only 160 alpha damage at tier 8, it's going to be extremely hard for you to be effective. I just want to remind you, I forgot to put it here, but the penetration values on this tank are actually really, really good. They are a little bit below, if I remember correctly, below the M41, the Black Dog at tier 8 when it comes to the gold shells, because you have heat shells, and heat shells have a way better penetration than a PCR. But if I remember correctly, with your regular shells, you should have something like 237 millimeters of raw penetration, which is quite insane, to be fair. Now, let's talk about the rest. For the mobility, that's where this tank stinks a little bit. Let me explain. 65 kilometers per hour max as top speed. For most of you, you're going to say, wow, why are you saying it's shit, like it's amazing? But hey, remember, it's a light tank. A light tank going 65 kilometers per hour is nothing more than just a CDC in terms of mobility. Even if the CDC doesn't go that fast, maybe 60 kilometers per hour. And the traverse speed, man, the traverse speed is bad for a light tank. This tank is not going to be the most effective scout out there, especially considering that the Black Dog is completely destroying the M41D when it comes to the mobility, because it features 75 kilometers per hour instead of 65, so plus 10 kilometers. But also because the traverse speed on the Bulldog is insane, which seems not to be the case on the M41D as well. Now, for the mobility, it's a light tank. What do you expect? Of course, you are going to get penetrated by everybody with HE. And finally, to sum it up, in my opinion, this tank is going to be a good alternative for people that really love the Bulldog but want to try a different playstyle than the Black Dog. But in all honesty, that's just a worse M4190 Bulldog. I think that Wargaming is going to put it in overpriced, as they are going to surf on the hype for this tank. But don't get fooled, guys. This tank is probably not as good as the regular Black Dog. So if you already have the Black Dog in your garage, it's a no for this tank. Do not buy it. Now that we talked about it, let's talk a little bit further about the STG. I just want to remind you one or two things about this tank for you to know if it's worth it. Alright, now guys, let's talk about the second one, the STG Tier 8 Medium Russian Premium. For the gun, 400 alpha damage, around 30 seconds of reload, great aim time, similar to the one you have on T-34-3, so a really good tank for you to be able to kind of snapshot if you are lucky, because this tank features one of the worst gun dispersion for a Tier 8 Medium. Just go on the T-44, equip it with the 122mm gun, the Tier 8 Russian Tech Tree medium tank. Check the gun dispersion and you have the same on the STG. So good luck trying to shoot your target if you're not fully focused and if the RNG is not with you. And therefore, as you have 30 seconds of reload, of course you understand that your alpha damage is great, but your DPM is gonna suck. Now, for the rest of the statistics, for the mobility, good traverse speed, good top speed, nothing really to say here. I mean, it's the traditional medium kind of playstyle concerning the mobility, nothing really exciting. For the armor, you have a weak hull pretty much everywhere. You're going to be penetrated. It's like your hull is made of butter, and you have a strong turret, which is a cool thing. Just be aware of the cupola that you can see right there, which is quite big on the tank's model, because I talked with testers and they told me that it was easy for them to get penetrated in this area. So to sum up, not worth it. Literally, this tank, you put it behind in the corner, you put it in a box that you never open, and you send it via Amazon Prime to someone you don't like, and never will you buy this tank. I will do it, of course, because I'm a masochist, or because I'm a masochist. I don't even need to explain myself. And I will do a review once the tank is released. So both of those tanks have been confirmed to be released for the 7.5 update. All you gotta do is being patient. I don't have a clue when the 7.5 update is gonna drop. My guess is between the 15th and the 20th of December, but I might be wrong. If you enjoyed that video, guys, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. And I'm gonna see you soon for a new video. Au revoir.